Now look at this. Not more than 10 of the 56 authors in the survey had sold more than 500 books. 93% of them were not earning sustainable income. The authors who commit to building something bigger than a single book are the ones who will dominate the future.
Hi, I'm Henika Watkins, Porter speaker, coach, author of Podcast Power, inviting you to listen to the Authorpreneur Secrets podcast, brought to you by C. Ruth Taylor, best-selling indie author and the Caribbean's most trusted voice on entrepreneurship. Get ready to dominate entrepreneurship.
It's episode 208 of the Authorpreneur Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Dr. C. Ruth Taylor, and in today's show, we are going to be talking about building an ecosystem around your book, which is basically what my Authorpreneur Secrets blueprint is all about. Now, I have been teaching and promoting authorpreneurship from 2019, ever since I wrote the first edition of Authorpreneur Secrets. This is currently the second edition, or the updated, expanded, and revised edition, which came out in 2023. I remember in 2025, I think, when Honoros, founder of the Alliance of Independent Authors, talked about that in the next 5 years that authorpreneurship would become the dominant author model. I was so excited because finally I was hearing the international community talk about something that I've been practicing, something that I've been passionate about. And now that I have completed my doctoral studies, my doctorate is in transformational leadership, but my emphasis is on cultural transformation, and my dissertation focused on entrepreneurship as a model for sustainable income generation through microfinancing. But what I created in this study, having studied my own entrepreneur initiatives over the past for 6 years, from 2018 to 2024, is a model. I call it the Authorpreneur Secrets Blueprint. It's a model for authors to prosper beyond book sales. And I am recognizing that some of the leaders in the business community, in the author community, that they are embracing this. And I feel like it's what we in the Christian circle call a Kairos moment. And so today I'm going to be sharing two emails, one from Julie Broad of Book Launchers and one from Chris Ducker of Youpreneur. And I'm also going to be playing, as I continue to share snippets from my doctoral research findings, my intro video for those who don't know my backstory of how I became an authorpreneur. And this is an introduction to authorpreneurship. I did this as part of my doctoral defense. And I'll be talking about some of the latest in my authorpreneurship ventures, what's happening there. So I invite you to stick around as I bring you the latest in my authorpreneurship ventures so that you can have a model and also equip you to become a winning authorpreneur. So stay tuned.
Your book is the perfect spark to get the fire going in your personal life, career, business, or ministry. Light that book spark.
All right, so it's a solo episode today, apart from me playing that clip to give you my backstory and my introduction to entrepreneurship. Lots been happening. So I'm currently doing several programs wrapped around this book, Authorpreneur Secrets. So I turned this book, Authorpreneur Secrets, into an online academy called the Authorpreneur Secrets Academy. And so what we do is it's a membership group where you pay a monthly fee and you get a coach to support you on your self-publishing journey, that you don't make costly mistakes. And it's normally a 6 months program. In the beginning, it was 1 year, and then I trimmed it, depending on the number of persons who sign up. I might go back to offering it twice per year, still on a 6 month basis, because most persons publish within 6 months. And so far, I think we have maybe about 10 or 12 persons in the group. And so far, several books have been published, both by the coaches and members of the community. So I'm going to show you just now some of the publications. And interestingly, some of these publications also came out of another authorpreneur initiative that I created. So my book, Small Book, Big Impact, which has to do with really 10 lessons that you can use to write a small book that will give you a powerful impact. I created a writing challenge around that in which I challenged students to write a small book for a big impact in 30 days. And out of that, there were 20 new books written. And the first 4 persons were awarded 2 months free in the Authorpreneur Secrets Academy. And they went on to use that time to publish their books. Some of them took 2 months, some took 3. And so I want to introduce you to the first person who published. So this is, a way to promote her book, but also show you what is happening and how you can create income around your book. So this is Love and Poetry, a Mental Health Journey of Healing by Cheryl N. Garrix. And so far, she has 2 reviews. It's in Kindle and it's in paperback format, and it came out March 4. So she was able to complete this book during the November challenge. That's our Small Book, Big Impact challenge. And look at it, by March, the book is out both in ebook and paperback format. And it also became an Amazon bestseller for motivational and inspirational poetry books. And so congrats to Cheryl. Also from that challenge, we also had Reverend Dr. Francina Price, and she shared at our summit. She produced her Kindle book on March 5. She was also one of the winners. That's a devotional. It also made the Amazon bestseller list. The paperback version will be out soon, and it's In God's Presence, 21-day daily devotional. And Reverend Price is part of the Authorpreneur Secrets Academy, and her book also made the bestseller list. Now, one of my coaches, publishing coaches, Colette Guthrie, congratulations to Colette. Colette is one of the coaches in the academy. Colette was a published author before. And if you can look at this, you will see that her book is #1 bestseller, Freedom from Fibroids. And she published this book from the 1st of March. I know it's the 30th of March and it's still on the bestseller list. She has it in paperback and Kindle format. So congratulations, Colette. But Colette is now ready to be certified as a publishing coach to start her own publishing business. And she has already begun to get clients. So what happens is that I teach you how to start your own publishing business, which is an authorpreneurship initiative. And I use the book Authorpreneur Secrets to do that. And you have to actually work with real authors to help them publish their books. And you have to publish a book of your own that will become your business card, or what I call your $1,000,000 book. And so we believe Freedom from Fibroids will be Colette's $1,000,000 book. It is a relevant issue that is faced by many women around the world, especially Black women. And Colette has gone through this, and she is now, reaching out to women. And I am looking forward to the programs that she will create around this book. Congrats. So I'm about to certify her. Colette also will be certified as a book formatter, because during the course, she learned to format and she formatted her own book. And so she's getting two certificates, and she also passed the test. So congratulations. I have one more person I'm working with now, Jodianne. She's working on her book that will become her business card. And she's also working with a couple of authors who will soon be published. No, not from the academy, but from the Bamboo Sparks side. I want to congratulate our newest author, and that is Queen Simone Maganza. And I'm going to show you her book. Her book is Give Birth to You Authenticity. The you there is Jamaican, so you can get a sense of what this book is like. So she's promoting and helping people to be their authentic selves. And the book is both in Jamaican English and Jamaican, or patois as we know it. And it is in Kindle, hardcover, and paperback format. And this book, she says, is not just a book, it's a transformational healing revolution. And Queen Simone was on the podcast a couple podcasts back, and so we want to say congratulations. So if you're tired of falling into what society expects, she says, fold no more. From early we are programmed to feel inferior, silence our inner power, and forget our royal dignity, but enough is enough. This book will help you to celebrate mistakes, rise above opinion, and become the person you are meant to be. So she's an award-winning speaker and self-confidence coach, and she has a community that's growing. And I look forward to how she will use this book as part of that ecosystem and what she will build from it. The book is filled with exercises for personal reflection, and it provides a roadmap to help you to embrace your authentic self. I mean, there's only one you, and it too made the Amazon bestseller list. So on the 28th, the other two versions came out, the hardcover and the paperback, and it will also be on other platforms via Draft to Digital. You know, they have, once they Draft to Digital, had 17 other platforms, but it is what we call an aggregate distributor of books. So that's our next step to go beyond Amazon. And so congratulations to Queen Simone, and Bamboo Sparks is proud of this publication. It's very creative. The inside is just beautiful. But I'll let you go get it. I'll put a link in the show notes to these books. So congratulations to all our new authors and soon to be authorpreneurs. Their success, their publications, their works are part of my own authorpreneurship initiative, because the model that I developed, the authorpreneurship model, talks about it's the ACTS formula. So you are building an asset. You take your knowledge, your story, your expertise, and you create intellectual property, an asset, which is your book. And then you use that book as a business card or as a billboard or as a transformational guide, for some transformational program that you're going to create, which you will monetize, and that will help you to create sustainable income faster than just depending solely on book sales. That's my model. And that's a good way to segue into talking about using your book to build an ecosystem, which is what authorpreneurship is all about. But first, let me play for you the intro to my dissertation defense to give you my own background in terms of authorpreneurship. And in a sense, the industry is playing catch up. People like Joanna Penn have been doing this for a while. I think I heard the word from her, and I began living it and doing it before I had a name for it. And so let's go. And if you've ever wondered what the C in my name is for, you're gonna learn it now.
This is Kamika Ruth Taylor's story and her journey into authorpreneurship. Let's talk about writing a book. For so many people, the dream, the big goal, is hitting that bestseller list, right? But what if the real power of a book has nothing to do with how many copies you sell, but everything to do with what you build from it? This idea that book sales are the only measure of author success, it's created this huge myth. And honestly, it's a trap. It's a trap that so many talented writers fall into. They pour their heart and soul into a book, and then crickets. The sales just don't pay the bills. So, we're going to look at a totally different way to do this, a path that completely rethinks what a book is even for. To really get this, let's dive into a real story. Kamika Ruth Taylor's author's journey. It all kicked off back in 2014, and it started with a huge, life-changing decision. She actually walked away from her job. No salary, no safety net, all to chase this calling she had, to write books that could really, truly change people's lives. Talk about a leap of faith, right? And it was all built on this one powerful, high-stakes idea. That was it. That was the belief she was running on. This book will make her a millionaire. She was so sure of it, so convinced that she went deep into debt just to get her book published. We're talking crowdfunding, sponsorships, even borrowing money from family. And the plan? It was ambitious. Sell 5,000 copies, like right away, and boom, financial freedom. But you know how it goes. For pretty much every creator out there, the dream and the reality, they don't always line up. And here's how that reality hit. I mean, it hit hard. After publishing in early 2015, the sales were just a trickle. Can you imagine? A whole year of hustling, of believing in this thing, and she only managed to sell 1,000 copies. That's not enough to live on. Not even close. And it's definitely not enough to pay back all those loans. So by 2016, she had to go back and get a part-time job just to keep her head above water. But here's the crazy thing. Her story? It wasn't some special case of failure. Not at all. In fact, it's depressingly common. Get this. The average new book from an author nobody's heard of sells fewer than 1,000 copies in its entire lifetime. So her struggle wasn't just some personal story of hardship. It was a symptom of a model that's just fundamentally broken for new authors. So after 3 years of this grind, she decided to leave the workforce again, but this time for good. And you better believe she was determined not to make the same mistake twice. Relying solely on book sales? That was off the table. She knew she needed a totally new strategy, a complete pivot in how she thought about everything. And that new identity was the authorpreneur. It's a mix of author and entrepreneur. But it's so much more than a buzzword. It represents this massive mental shift. You stop thinking about just creating a book. Instead, you start thinking about how to strategically build an entire business with that book, right at the center of it all.
All right, so you see, I'm not just jumping on a trend. I'm happy this thing is becoming trendy, but this is because of what I faced, right? So in my doctoral research, I was both researcher and participant. And of course, mechanisms were put in place to ensure that the data was valid, triangulation with 7 different data sources, including documentary analysis of things like my financial records, looking at my digital footprint, the courses I created, the school I created, interviews with the indie entrepreneurs, members of that group that I created. So I created an online community. If you're going to build an ecosystem, then you need community. I'm going to pull up a drawing or an illustration that I showed in my defense, which is really what people are talking about. Because in the study itself, one of the data sources was data from 44 Jamaican authors living in Jamaica. And you'll be surprised at some of the findings. So when it said that what happened to me was common, it is common. So just before I share the image, let me give you a little bit more about the participants in my research, right? So I was saying 7 instruments were used. Reflexive interviews, that means I had a set of questions to interrogate myself and the data. Documentary analyses, I was looking at my top 6 authorpreneur initiatives, what motivated them, what were the results, what were the challenges, is this something that is replicable now, and if so, how? Things like that. I had 2 focus group discussions with 8 members of the Indie Authorpreneurs Facebook group and 8 members of my Authorpreneur Secrets Academy. I did 10 interviews with individual authors, members of the Jamaican Independent Author community. I did, as I said, documentary analysis supporting my initiatives, and I did a supplementary survey of 44 independent authors, and I interviewed 6 microfinance providers. I used Delve as part of the qualitative analysis, following Braun and Clark's thematic analysis framework, and in terms of background of the participants, right? So that you can get a better understanding of the findings. As I told you, I played a dual role as a researcher and a participant. I did what would be called a longitudinal study in a sense. So from July 2018 to July 2024, I look at my top 6 authorpreneur initiatives. So I studied authorpreneurship in my life over a 6-year period. So we had a total of 56 authors in the study, 14 of whom did both the survey and the author interview or participated in one of the focus groups. All right. So note that the authors in the focus group were not the same as those who did the individual interviews. So of the 56 authors, 39 were female and 17 male. Of this group, more than 83% were between the ages of 31 and 70. Initially, I had 50 participants in the survey, but I ruled out 6 because I needed to see authors who had published for a year, just to get some sort of annual income. The length of time being published ranged from 1 year to 10 years. 45% of the authors had been published, or they had been authors for more than 4 years, a small percentage over 10 years, and the remaining had been published between 1 to 3 years. But get this, more than 84% of the authors use professional publishing services to publish their books, which goes to show, at least in Jamaica, and I think across the Caribbean, many of us are not thinking traditional publishers. Many of us are not thinking traditional publishing first. So they engage the services of a company and outsource parts of the process like editing or cover design. And if you need people who know what they're doing to assist you in that, Bamboo Sparks, my publishing services company, also offers these a la carte services. So you can go to bamboosparks.com/marketplace to get our services. Now, over 90% had published on Amazon as their main publishing platform. And it was nonfiction, memoirs, children's books were the main genres of publication. Over 40% spent between $500 and $1,000 to publish their books, with a little over 34% spending less than $500 to publish. Of the 44 authors in the survey, 61% got their book sales from selling directly, with paperback being the dominant format being sold. And the remaining authors who participated, it came through speaking engagements and things like that. Now look at this. Not more than 10 of the 56 authors had sold more than 500 books. Not more than 10 of the 56 authors in the survey had sold more than 500 books. 93% of them were not earning sustainable income. We've known it for a long time, and it's becoming increasingly clear. Selling books is hard. selling books is hard. And so if most authors are not selling more than 500 books, why continue to publish? And what do we do? Is it still worth it? Are we just publishing because we like writing and publishing? Can you actually make money from it to live on? And if so, how? This is where authorpreneurship comes into play. So, what international community is talking about, and I'm going to bring up that email from Julie Broad, and where I'm at is instead of just focusing on sales, why not build an ecosystem around your book? And this is the image I have here. Of course, Google Notebook LM helped me. Even the video that you saw before that introduced me and my journey into authorpreneurship, the graphics were from Google Notebook LM. So you look at it, your book is not the end product, it's the genesis of an ecosystem. Of course, not many authors are willing to make the leap, but this is going to become a dominant model in the future. Many authors are doing it, but I want you to seriously consider it, Caribbean authors, that your book is not just an end product. I have been saying this for a long time. It is a platform for transformation and a platform for multiple income streams. It's a genesis of an ecosystem. So you see, one book can lead to transformational programs, speaking opportunities, premium coaching, building an active community, online courses. A lot of people are saying online courses are dead, but I think it's more how you offer that. I struggled in terms of just selling courses by themselves, but when I built the courses or the master classes as part of transformational programs, the courses would sell. So I turned the course in terms of into like a membership group, a live community. So you would still have the teaching, but I have a live component where the people are interacting with me. And so I don't believe courses are dead. It's just how it is being offered. If it is just standalone, automated without personal interaction, I don't think that model will continue to hold up, especially with AI. So I agree with that. So let's hear what Julie is saying and what Chris Ducker is doing. And, this is music to my ears. So around March 10, this was the day before my dissertation defense, I got an email from Chris Ducker because I'm part of the Youpreneur community. I'm on his mailing list. He said, for more than a decade, Youpreneur has helped entrepreneurs build businesses around their expertise through books, courses, communities, speaking careers, and personal brands. But over the last few years, something became very clear to me. The most successful entrepreneurs in our community all had one thing in common. They were authors. Not just people who wrote books, but people who used a book as a foundation for everything else they built. That's what I have been doing since 2018. I started teaching the concept in 2019. That's what I did when I launched my book, Design to Win Roadmap and the Design to Win Academy with a coaching program on my birthday in May 2018. So let me continue. So he says, people use a book as a foundation for everything else they built. Their authority, their offers, their speaking opportunities, their client pipeline, and their long-term impact. He said that observation led us to rethink the future of Youpreneur going into 2026, which is why he says we've rebuilt the brand around a single mission, helping expert authors publish, promote, and profit from their books. That's been my mission, and I'm seeking to raise up 10,000 entrepreneurs who will do this. So if you're already an author and you're ready to make the leap, sign up for my Authorpreneur Secrets Masterclass. And you can also sign up for the Authorpreneur Secrets Accelerator, the 90-day program that will help you to turn your book into a transformational program or build a profitable business around your book. And you can go to authorpreneursecrets.com/blueprint to check it out, or at least sign up, and we can do a clarity call. So he said, today I'm excited to officially introduce Youpreneur 2.0 and the website thing here. I'm going to go over there. I'm just going to show you. It says, helping expert authors build lasting authority. Turn your book into a powerful engine for visibility, impact, and profit. And he says, a new chapter for the brand specifically designed to support experts who want to turn their knowledge into a powerful book and use that book to grow their authority, their opportunities, and their businesses. Throughout the new ecosystem, that's the word, the buzzword, you will find publishing support through our imprint, Youpreneur Press, strategic guidance for turning your expertise into a book, marketing and visibility support for authors, tools and resources designed to help expert authors grow their platform. So I'm going to show you his website. So it's not that, you're promoting another brand, you're helping them get business. I am showing you part of the shift that is taking place, which is in line with my research-backed authorpreneurship model, which I call the ACTS model, or the Authorpreneur Secrets Blueprint. So see it there, Youpreneur, helping expert authors build lasting authority, turn your book into a powerful engine for visibility, impact, and profit. That's what my dissertation is about. He says visibility. Remember, as part of the ACTS model, or the hybrid model that was developed, is using your book as a billboard. So that's visibility, impact, and profit. And look at it. And of course, explore the services. So everything is, they're becoming the go-to partner for expert authors. See? So you want to build a profitable platform. And so I want to say to my authors, it's not just about selling books. You can make more money by turning the content of your book into a transformational program, by using your book as a business card or a billboard or a transformational guide for speaking, for authority, and those kind of things, than just struggling so hard to sell the books. Remember, even in the Jamaican community, of the 56 authors in my study, no more than 10 had sold 500 copies. That's why in Bamboo Sparks, we help you with marketing strategies that will help you to sell your first 1,000, because it's a barrier that needs to be broken. Bamboo Sparks gives you a spark or a start. And so before you can even sell the millions, let's get the 1,000 out the way, and then take it beyond that. You can find companies and so to get it beyond that. So that's Chris Ducker. Let's go over to Julie Broad now. Her email that affirmed what is happening. So she says, hi Ruth, if your book sales spiked at launch and then faded into nothing, you're not alone. The 2026 Publish Drive market data makes one thing very clear. Authors who win are not just publishing books, they're building ecosystems. Most authors are still stuck treating their book like a product instead of the foundation for a powerful platform. See it again? To me, she says, a book isn't just words on a page, it's intellectual property. Done to the highest level of potential, this intellectual property can be the foundation of an author empire that creates a lot of impact and income. The data from this report reinforces this, showing revenues increasingly driven by multiple formats and channels. Discoverability is coming from consistent content and community, not luck or virality. The most successful authors own their audience. And I am trying to get my Caribbean community to embrace this. It's not just a foreign thing, it's what I have done. I am Jamaican bred. And it doesn't have to be a huge community. One of the things, the surprising things out of my study was that my small community was able to sustain me, give me sustainable income. My YouTube channel is not more than is just 600 and something people. My in the authorpreneurship group is 350 members. It's now 357, but during the time of the study. And my email list, when I've called it, is less than 500 now. But in its heyday, it still hadn't surpassed 1,000 for myself. And yet I was able to earn sustainable income from it. So small communities, just like small books, can have a big impact, but you need to build an audience and build a community. That's the hard work that not a lot of authors want to do. And I'm trying to persuade and help so that you're not disappointed when after the book launch, everything falls flat. And I've designed programs. I can coach you and help you to make the shift. It's not just book launchers who can do it or Youpreneur. It's something that I have been doing and something that I have research-based evidence from my doctoral degree to say this is the way, as the Mandalorian would say, this is the way. All right. So she says the authors pulling ahead are doing something different. They are documenting, engaging, teaching, and building authority in public. Their book is just the entry point. And so if you've been feeling like the old playbook isn't working as well, you're not wrong. But the opportunity right now is bigger, not smaller. You just need to adjust how you show up. And so she goes deeper into the published drive report. And then they have a special training that's coming up on April 3 from book to brand. If you're serious about turning your book into something bigger, this session with their print partner, AccuTrack, is worth your time. So from book to brand, building authority and influence as a thought leader. That's coming up on April 3. She says, if you're ready to execute, not just learn. She says, a lot of people read reports. A smaller group actually does something with them. That's the gap they built with their author launch kit, where they give you a step-by-step execution, build authority in your niche, turn your book into a business asset. That's the finding from my dissertation. The authors who commit to building something bigger than a single book are the ones who will dominate the future. I rest my case. And so if you're ready to be part of this author revolution, I am here to help you. And you can start by going to authorpreneursecrets.com and download the Authorpreneur Secrets Blueprint. Let's get ready to do something bigger, something more with your book than just selling it. And my model, when you do something bigger with your book, it includes marketing and selling the book. So it's a win-win. So it's been a long solo episode, but I trust that you found it useful and helpful. Remember, of making many books, there is no end. So go penny to win it and dominate authorpreneurship. Ta for now, until next time.